dribble the clock away. And for the first time since 1999, the College of Charleston is going to the NCAA tournament. An epic comeback here tonight in the CAA championship. And they win it in overtime, 83-76.
Now back to Mad Dog Unleashed with Christopher Russo on SiriusXM's Mad Dog Sports Radio.
I jumped in. That was a good call there at the end as the Cougars advance. Earl Grant got me into the NCAA tournament, so there you have it. I'll be raring to go now the rest of the way. Earl Grant coaches that team. He's been there for 3 years. He's done a superb job. 4 years now. He's done a tremendous job, and he says hello. Earl, nice to talk. My name's Christopher Russo. How are you today, okay?
Doing good, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, Earl, great to have you aboard here. You know, it's funny. I visited College of Charleston last March, with my 18-year-old who was accepted there, and he wanted to work for the basketball team as a manager. And I thought he was going to go there instead with the University of Tampa. And if he did go there, I was going to try to organize a College of Charleston game against Colorado because my partner has got a kid at Colorado. So we would have figured out a way, Earl, to get you to play the Buffalo in 2017, 2018. How'd that sound if my son had gone to College of Charleston?
Hey, you know, we're always looking for a good quality opponent. I'm certainly Tam Boyle's doing a great job out there. He's got a good program and good team. And so we're always searching for quality opponents. And, you know, I wouldn't have shied away from that.
There you go. Good for you, huh, in the NCAA. Last year, you lose the championship game to Wilmington. You probably stored that. You probably used that as motivation all year. You're a tough league because you got to win those games there in the tournament to get in, so it's tricky. But you had a wonderful regular season, and obviously we know what you did last night. But maybe this started last year losing to Wilmington in a championship game. How about that first?
Yeah, you know, it's tough. I mean, obviously, when you're in the CAA, you got to win the conference championship. You know, we have won 25 games, this season, and if we would have not won that game against Northeastern, we would have been in an NIT. So it's kind of unfortunate that you can have such a good body of work throughout the year, and when you're in the one big league, you only get that one opportunity is winning your conference championships. And so, but I do think Wilmington, having that game and losing that game in the championship, it kind of gave us some fuel, to kind of push forward and try to get back to that moment. I know our players in the offseason really, really wanted to get back to that moment and see if we can get over the hump and win the game.
What were you thinking last night, Earl, down 17 in the second half?
Well, we wasn't playing well. Defensively, we broke down a few times. We didn't follow our game plan. I was shocked because, we had been in the championship game last year. I thought we would have been a little more poised and have a little more composure. And then offensively, the shots weren't falling for us. We were pressing a little bit, but we got down, and I just told the guys, hey, let's get to 12. That's our first goal, get it from 17 to 12. And we did. And then we just kept chipping away at it. We had some players come out with some big-time defensive stops and steals with our press, and then we made some big threes to cut into the league and send it to overtime. I
didn't pick the game up when you did fall behind by 17. I picked it up a little later. Did you call a timeout there? Was there a period in that second half that you kind of settled everybody down? Now, you got a good senior guard here in Chile, so I don't know how you handled it. What did Coach Grant do there when you fell behind by 17?
Well, we had a media timeout coming up, and like I said, it wasn't looking good. We had about a minute left before the media when it was 17. I thought about calling a timeout. Thank God I didn't, because we went on like a little 4-0 run, and we were able to get it to 13 right before that media without me calling a timeout. So, we got a veteran team. There was no need for us to panic. We had been down before, and we had to fight back, and so it wasn't the first time we were in that situation. And
once you get into an overtime in that case, in this kind of game, Coach, after being down by so much, you got a good crowd there helping you out too. A lot of momentum. Now, there's never anything assured, but you had to feel pretty good going into that 5-minute overtime period after you were down by 17, correct?
Yeah, once we got into overtime, to be honest with you, our players showed a lot of confidence. We came out, we said, hey, look, everything needs to be in the paint. We're in the bonus. We need to get to the free throw line. And let's make sure we play at the rim. And maybe we get some layups, maybe we get some free throws. And, we came out, drove the ball, got to the basket a couple of times, and then we had a kid, Marquise Pointer, backup point guard, came in and made 2 huge 3-point baskets, which really this changed the game, and we kind of sealed it at that point.
Give me what kind of team, Coach? Is this a senior-oriented team? Give me a little rundown on it. Kind of. I mean, you have good Division I. I don't know if they're North Carolina good. Maybe some of them are. Give me a little rundown on the roster for a sec. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a mix. It's a mix. You know, we got 2 starters that are seniors, and we got some juniors and sophomores. So we're pretty balanced. I mean, we got a couple of older guys that give us great leadership. But for the most part, everybody returns. And so, you know, I do think we have maybe 2 guys that can play at the highest level, 2 or 3 guys that can play at the highest level. They can play anywhere in the country. You know, Joe Cheeley, Grant Rilla, and Jarrell Brantley. Then we got some other guys, Marquise Pointer, Cam Johnson. There's certain high-level programs, Nick Harris, that would believe they could play there. So we're very fortunate. These guys are developmental players. We're a developmental program. They weren't highly touted out of high school. And they just made progress each year to get better and improve their game.
All right, so when you go recruit, and you're from Charleston, so North Charleston, so you know the area well. When you recruit, Coach, you're not looking for, you're not going to get the one-and-done kind of guy. So you are looking for a guy that you see a lot of potential, who, if you have him for 4 years, in his last 2 years, can be a very good college player, correct?
Yeah, you know, we know the guys going to be 4-year players. I mean, but we're looking for toughness. We're looking for guys that come from great programs. You know, I love guys who play football.
Do you?
In high school. I love guys who, you know, been on part of the state championship. You know, so we're looking for toughness, and that's been a big part of our formula when we go out and evaluate.
All right, are you recruiting generally in South Carolina, or are you all over the place? How about that for a second?
Yeah, we everywhere. We everywhere. You know, it's a relationship currency. I mean, we got on our roster kids from Arkansas. We got Orlando, Florida. We got North Carolina, Georgia. Got a couple kids from Africa. So we all over the map, you know, and we just kind of use our relationship currency to tell us where to go and recruit.
All right, how about you now? I see that you're a Christmas baby, number 1, so that's good luck. I like to see that. I know you were at Clemson for a while as an assistant coach. You were at Marshall, too. You got this job 3 or 4 years ago. I know you coached at Division II. How about Earl Grant's rise in the college basketball chain? Let me hear your thoughts.
Well, in terms of just, you know, in terms of my upbringing, or what are you talking about on that?
Well, yeah, we'll get to the upbringing for a sec. How about the journey to get to this level as a head coach? You work for Marshall, you're at Clemson.
I've been fortunate. You know, I work for Greg Marshall. My last 10 years, I've been with Greg Marshall and Brad Burnell. So Greg Marshall at Winthrop and Wichita State, and then Brad Burnell at Clemson. So that's the last 10 years. So that was a very good educational time for me. Obviously, both of those guys are great coaches. And I learned a lot from them, and you know, obviously they're a big part of the, you know, my preparation and allowing me to put me in a position to you know, have a chance to be at this level at the College of Charleston.
Did you always know you wanted to be a coach, Earl? What made you want to be a head coach?
I think when I was in junior college, you know, I was at junior college at Spartanburg Methodist, and you know, I was on the basketball team, and we had some different guys trying out to make the team. They didn't make it. So what I did was I ended up forming my own intramural team with the guys who didn't make the team. And, you know, after practice, I would take them to the old gym, and we would go work out and practice and then coach them in intramural. So I knew right then, my sophomore year in college, I had a bug for wanting to coach. I started working basketball camps in the summer, and the rest is history.
Well, how about that? How about coaching your hometown? You like that?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, obviously the arena, the North Charleston Coliseum, where we played the conference tournament at, was about 5 minutes away from our, you know, childhood home and neighborhood. And so it was unbelievable, you know, and not a lot of people get the opportunity to coach in a championship game, you know, in a 10-minute jog to their neighborhood.
Wow. And you got Crest there. We know him from St. John's, and he put this program on the map. And I saw him at the game last night. Does he stay away? Is he a mentor? Give me a little rundown on John Crest for a second.
Yeah, you know, he's a mix. He's a mix, you know. I mean, he stays away, but he comes around a little bit. But we get together a lot. I go to him. You know, obviously, he was Greg Marshall's mentor. I met Greg Marshall when he was an assistant coach here for Coach Crest back in the early 90s. So there's a connection there. So a lot of what we try to do offensively and defensively, the things that I learned from Greg Marshall, he learned from Coach Crest. So it's a very easy conversation when I go to Coach Crest and I want to talk about certain parts of the game or get his thoughts on certain things. It's pretty easy because we speak in the same language.
Right, because a marshal, and he doesn't get in the way, which is the most important thing. You know, you do the right thing. He's doing the right thing by not intruding. He wants you're the coach. You know, he can't butt in, and he hasn't. So I like to hear that. How about you now? I mean, we're going to know who Earl Grant is here in these next 7 or 8 days. Maybe TBS and CBS show up at the little party you're going to have there on Sunday. You are going. Look, you're on Sirius. I mean, I'm not trying to say that we are. You know, this is the Oscars, but you are on SiriusXM today. Nobody knows that much about you. It's a big moment for you too. How about that for a sec? Let me hear.
Well, I mean, obviously, just really excited that we got this opportunity to be in the NCAA tournament. And program hadn't been in a tournament in 19 years, which is amazing because it's a great program.
Yeah, really is.
With a lot of potential, and so in a great city. So hopefully, this is just the start of what we can do here. Like I said, we just got done with my 4th year. We got a great program now. We're going to try to see if we can make a run in the NCAA tournaments. And then we got a lot of guys returning. So hopefully this is just the start of what this program can really become.
And I tell you, this conference does well in the NCAA. This conference can win games. I mean, this is a dangerous. You guys are a dangerous team. And if you play a team that is from the South, that's you rather play a team that's never heard of you, because then you can catch them by surprise. You guys are a very dangerous team. You can win easily a game or two in this tournament. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I feel like this team has a lot of potential, and I'm just hoping they do the seeding right. I mean, I think I'm hoping for a 13 seed. That'd be great. I think a lot of people are projecting 14, but I think that 13-4 has got some magic to it. So hopefully we get the opportunity to get a good seeding and a good draw for that first round.
What was Wilmington last year, Earl? I don't know. I don't remember. What were they ranked? What were they seeded?
I believe they were a 14. Certainly Kevin Keats had a great team. They had a really, really good team with a lot of good players, and they were hard to deal with. So we split with them in the regular season, and they were able to beat us in the championship game. But I think they ended up being a 14 seed.
Love to see you get a 13. I'd love to see you make some noise, Coach. Thanks for a few minutes. Good luck. Appreciate you coming on here today.
Thanks, guys.
You take care. Earl Grant, head coach at College of Charleston. That's our new team here. We were going to try to have a game again.
For him, why not?
We were going to try to have. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I'm rooting for him. Why not?
Yeah, we were going to try to have a game against Colorado. But we couldn't quite put that together because the kid went to the wrong school. Anyway, to make a long story short,
we can't set up Tampa and Colorado.
We can't. We might be able to, but Colorado did win today, so I didn't get my wish and get them the hell out of this tournament.
I'm telling you, they're going to be good next year. They're good, but probably their best players are the youngest players.
Did they go to class?
As far as I know.
All right.
Kyle's actually got class with a few of them.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
And they show up.
That's what he says. They
do.
But I tell you, Tad Boyle's got a good reputation.
Well, there's a baking class at Colorado.
Yeah, well, that's one of them, yeah. Yeah, it just counts as a credit.
I'm nasty. I'm sorry. How you feel? Things okay?
Yes, terrific.
You
Looking forward to
a little dinner tonight. We'll have a little party.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I got about a 10-block walk to the hotel in a blizzard, but that'll be all right.
Why in the world you didn't stay in an iron bar? Thank God we didn't go home. How is Metro North? Is it working tonight?
I actually haven't. It's a good question.
Yeah. What now?
Most of the Long Island Railroad just
went down. And Bill Zimmerman, who was proud of himself.
Yeah, he was.
For saying that there's no snow in Huntington, and it's a dusting, all the snow is going west. So Bill drove to work today and did not want to stay in the city, and he drove home. And as Colin said about an hour ago, when he looked at the updated weather in Long Island, it was a blizzard conditions with a quarter of a mile visibility. And he said, I hope Bill right now is on the Long Island Expressway, miles from home, slip sliding. Hey, that is true. That I'm not speaking
Colin,
out of
did
school.
You actually say that?
Oh, yeah, you did.
I said Bill tried to go home in this. We'll see how he does.
Wait, clean as up.
And Chris twisted the truth a little. That's surprising.
Now, speaking of Steve took the train home on Friday. And I was in contact with the company Friday to make sure the channel was live.
Right. And it's a good thing you did.
And Steve was unbelievably annoyed that he got on Metro North with the bad nor'easter here, and it was a 3-hour and 45-minute train ride home for Steve. Normally it's 49 minutes. And on Friday night it was 3 hours and 45 minutes. Is that correct?
I walked out of the office at 5:45, and I walked in at 9:47.
So
now the whole train ride wasn't that duration of time.
So quarter to 6 to quarter to 10. So roughly 4 hours to get yourself home.
Yeah, there were trees down. It was rough, and then they couldn't go north. They stopped at one location, and then you had to sort of find your way home.
But they stopped in your case. They stopped in North
It was like
White
20
Plains.
minutes away from my stop. But
and then you got the Uber, and they picked you up and took you to Tall Pines.
Something like that, but it wasn't as smooth as you're describing. Boy, it was rough. First of all, my phone died. It was crazy. I mean, and everybody was in the same boat because you were dropped off at one location at one train station where you couldn't go any further north, and there was literally, I'm not even exaggerating, probably 400 people just standing around not knowing what to do.
Oh my gosh!
Because everybody was in the same boat. Do you get a cab? Do you get an Uber? Where do I find the Uber? It was a nightmare.
And you only had 9% of power on your phone.
And then and then trying to talk to the Uber driver, the wind was whipping so loud you couldn't hear me.
And you went into a
I found a convenience store, which I knew where it was.
And you had to recharge your phone.
That's correct. And there were 4 other people ahead of me, so I walked in and I said, "Can I charge my phone here?" He's like, "Sure." He goes, "Just get online." I turn around, there's 5 people in this.
Oh my God! What a mess!
It was crazy. It's crazy. But I'll tell you, a lot of people had it worse than I did. People lost power for days.
What is the Metro North situation right now? Long Island Railroad is down. What is the Metro North?
I haven't been. I didn't check on Twitter about Metro North. Why don't you guys check that out? Would you?
Yeah, we'll see if we can get that organized.
Take it easy. What's it?
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, they must be running.
And you did forget to tell me about Justin Thomas last week. I would have been all over that story on Monday, escorting a fan out for saying, "Hope the ball goes in the bunker." Calm down, Justin. Will you please keep your mouth shut? He's allowed to. He paid his money. It may not be proper etiquette, but he's allowed to say something.
Yeah, I had a problem with what he did. Sorry we didn't inform you. Next time we'll do better.
Yeah, I don't like the way he did it. He apologized, but after the guy was off the golf course, he apologized. Yeah, that bothers me.
Yeah, once he got some criticism, that's when he apologized.
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, he did. That's why he didn't apologize right away. He apologized.
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, okay. Well, that's news to me. Very good. All right, let's get you organized. You got an update?
I suppose so.
He got some college basketball scores. By the way, Serena is also playing in Indian Wells, her first tournament since she shot a baby. So,
well, you better provide the update because you're not getting it from me.
So Serena and Federer for you as far as the updates are concerned with that tournament. Here's Steve Torrey, our Mad Dog Unleashed.